Hey guys, so long time no talk. So for the past 2 weeks, I have been sick with the sick. So I noticed that about on Monday I started having some symptoms. I didn't really recognize it as anything, but I was just like a little bit more tired, a little bit more achy, kind of just a little bit, feeling a little bit kind of out of it and just more tired. And I was like, why do I feel so tired? It's just because like, I'm training or whatever, but I don't really think too much of it. I still just went about life normally. Still show up to training Monday through Wednesday, but on Thursday, I really noticed that I was just super fatigued, super achy, like benching hurt, doing curls hurt, doing really anything was just like really painful. And then I kind of just went to bed that night with a ton of body aches. And I woke up on Friday morning with just holding like 5 pounds of water out of nowhere, absolutely just feeling obliterated. Body aches all over, super feverish. I noticed like a lot of it like in my legs, so it was just like the water weight, just crazy edema. And basically I was on bed rest for 4 straight days, Friday through about Tuesday, and just a lot of body aches, bad fever, just very tired, and I couldn't really eat. Like literally, like eating was like exhausting. I remember I made like a little meal, like a protein bar, and like I just fell asleep like trying to eat it. And so for like over like those 4 days, I had like I think like 600 calories on like each day, like at the most, and like maybe like 40 grams of protein. So I lost a lot of weight. I got down actually at my lowest like 179 from like 188. And then ever since I've kind of been like eating, I've been like back to like 181.6, like 181 to like 182, even after eating. And I've definitely been feeling kind of like a little bit more depleted. But I got back to training after Wednesday, and I kind of felt like crap. Like I just had like low work capacity, not as strong, like super depleted. Obviously, like I maintained my weight on like 4,000 calories because of like how active I am, and just like having like a 600 calorie like intake just knocked me out. So I've only recently kind of returned to training, more so being on program since about I started on Friday. The first couple of sessions I had back was like Wednesday and Thursday, which just is like kind of go in, like move around, do some cardio, but kind of I got a little bit back on program. Things felt like crap, but I wasn't like that much weaker, like only like 10 pounds weaker, on like the same RPEs. So like that was, you know, encouraging, especially being down a lot of weight and whatnot. And then now I'm back on program, and just like trusting the RPE and keeping that consistent. But I wanted to talk like really fast, kind of like how to balance out for being sick and how to approach training and dieting. So first off, any sort of strength loss that you might have coming out of being sick is usually just a result of glycogen depletion, having a little more acute fatigue patterns just from a virus in general, and just maybe having just like lower like energy availability because you're just eating less. And a lot of times people will freak out in dieting phases after they get sick, whatever, about feeling weaker, and that's not really nothing to be too concerned about, especially because the main thing that's going to make you lose muscle mass is losing the main thing that will make you lose strength is going to be losing muscle mass, and muscle mass takes time to detrain, and any like sort of muscle mass that you might have that you might lose will come back very fast, especially, you know, like I was out of it for about like a week and a half of training. It'll come right back as soon as you start training and start eating more, better, and all that stuff. But you coming back to training, like I definitely noticed that my work capacity is lower. So coming back into training, my recommendation is to probably start off with more like an intro week of training. So what that would look like is essentially, say you normally do like 3 sets of 8 on like squats. Maybe what you might want to do is just like do 2 sets of 8. Slowly ease into it. Do like kind of like a deload week, but going into like a new training block or like new rep ranges, etc. And go from there and just really just auto-regulate with the RPE based off of your abilities on that day. As long as you trust with that with the RPE, you're going to adapt upwards very fast. And I think the main thing is just have a long-term perspective, like expect to feel a little bit beat up, expect to feel a little bit weaker, a little bit more like lower work capacity. That's normal. Like, you just got sick, your body's still recovering from a virus, you're a little bit detrained because of that. But the main thing is just get back on program, ease back into the volume and the intensities, and just have that long-term perspective. You're going to bounce back super fast. Since I am down about 7 pounds, I know a lot of people will probably be in a, they can be in a similar situation. My recommendation is to not just go binge up your weight back. That's just going to make you feel like all bloated and like not very good. My recommendation is to just get back on track to like what you were doing before you were getting sick, and just don't rush the process. Trust it, and make sure that you are just staying like on track with things, and you're going to get it all back. Now, I was going to compete on March 5th, but because I don't really see a point in that, because I can compete at another date. I want to have a full training cycle before I can actually compete. Also, like, I still have an interest in competing again at like 181, and it's going to take me some time to be like upper 180s again. I think so. I'm going to compete next on April 23rd. Hopefully, be at least 190 by that point. Go back to my 200 calorie, 300 calorie surplus, and whatnot, and just sleep a lot and just get back on track with that. Have a long-term perspective. But yeah, like today, for example, like I'll put this up on the screen. Like I set like an all-time deadlift PR, like 562 for 5 RPE 8s, coming out of being sick. And so like just kind of just goes to show you like little setbacks are like they'll happen. It's a lot of it is how you respond to it mentally. Like one of the positives about this is that like I don't feel any sort of like aches and pains anymore. I don't feel like my hips are hurting anymore, like my back is super inflamed, or like my elbows are inflamed, or chest hurts. So this is just one of those things too, just like sometimes people, it's sometimes pulling back is exactly what you need to do. And for lots of times athletes like myself, for example, like we like training, and sometimes that can get the better of us, and we can kind of go to like overtraining syndrome, to where, for example, like I think a big reason why I did get sick was just because like I didn't pull back as much as when I needed to going into this prep, and then when I got like sick, I got really sick. That's a symptom of overtraining syndrome. Is just being a little bit less resilient from an immune standpoint. But like taking time off is like, it's a part of normal sport thing. I think that sometimes like bodybuilders and powerlifters forget about that, but like real athletes have off seasons, and they legitimately like will take like active rest periods, right? Like, take like 2 weeks off of training, and like they just do minimal things, and they just eat like normal people and whatever. Like that's important for psychological long-term adherence, making sure that you're staying as injury free as possible, because those are going to be like the 2 main things with like long-term progress. Is just, can you stay healthy, and can you still be excited about what you're doing? If you're not excited about what you're doing, like you're just not gonna last very long. So that's my general feedback. Like just like I want to give you guys like an update back from COVID. Those are my plans, and I'm just going to ease back into things and trust the process, and pivot my goals, and trust that I'm going to be okay. And like I'm already feeling like significantly better today. Strength will come back, and I'm not concerned at all. So yeah, that's essentially the updates. I'm going to get back with like normal content and whatnot. I'm sorry about like the lack of content recently. I've just been dead and like haven't really been able to do it. And I've just been trying to like make sure my clients are taken care of to the best of my ability, while I've been a little bit out of it. But this weekend I should be having a podcast episode coming out with, and some more training vlogs and whatnot. Now I'm feeling a little bit better. Potentially full day of eating, I don't know. But yeah, if you guys have anything that you guys would like to see, let me know. Yeah, that's it for updates. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Later.